Alright guys, so back at it again with the Mark IV Project GTI. So today I'm going to do a video on the next step of the bay shaving process that I'm doing personally. It's different for everybody depending on what you're looking for. This car is a car that does not get driven often. It's going to be a more performance oriented build, so anything that I do not need is going to get removed to make this car a lot easier for me to work on. So far, you can kind of see what's been removed or relocated. Next is going to be the AC. I haven't really seen an in-depth video on it, so I figured I'd make one. It's pretty self-explanatory. You just want to remove everything, but there are some things that you want to consider, like your belt. You do need a shorter belt. It's exact part number right here, 06A145933D. This is for a factory Mark IV Jetta, Golf, and Beetle without AC from the factory. So it's a shorter belt that just bypasses the pulley on the compressor that you're going to be removing. So make sure you have that belt and you'll be ready to go. It's just some removing of lines, so I'll go in depth on where they go to and how to remove them and whatnot. So let's get into it. One thing that you're going to want to do before you start, I clearly have the whole front end of the car apart, but you're going to want to take off the radiator support because I don't think you can get the compressor out of the way with that there. I really don't think that there's enough room. I had mine off anyway, so that's just how I'm starting because I'm doing a bunch of other stuff. Before I even do that, I already started, but you got to remove this pressure sensor here, so you might as well just remove that while you're here. And then you're going to do this one that's going to come out and off, and then you got to do this one right here, but you need this out of the way for you to get anything on that one. That plastic cover, once you open it, you can just take a screwdriver, get underneath, and just pry it down. It'll fall right down. And then this is going to take a little bit to break loose, at least mine did. And you just kind of pull it back so you have this line out of the way right there, so you could actually get onto that now. So once those bolts are out, you are going to just pull this back, get it out of the way there, and then that's going to let you, now you've removed your sensor, pressure sensor, that's going to let you remove this set of lines here, both of them. So if you look, they come down. You're going to have some stuff holding it down that you'll have to get out of the way. So you might come across the same issue, but my screw was super stripped here. So filthy and all that. So there's a 10 mil nut right there that this clamps to and holds the power steering line on. So I just removed that. You might have to do the same thing. So this is all free now. But obviously it goes back to the compressor right there, and so does this one that's already pretty much all disconnected. I'm probably just going to take them out now just to get them out of the way, so it's not harder to remove them when they're still on the compressor. It'll take like 2 minutes, so I'll just get that out of the way. Also, while you're here, if you didn't delete this already and still have it, but your SAI tube that goes back to your tank here, just get rid of that. Mine's held on by some zip ties apparently from the previous owner. Very nice work there. So if you have it already deleted, I'm jealous, but if you still have it, definitely get it out of the way because it's just going to risk cracking and it's in your fucking way clearly to get this compressor out. So, and a pro tip for these, if they're giving you a hard time coming off here, just take a little hammer, keep that in there and just give it a light tap. It'll kind of break these loose here, kind of break loose. So I'm gonna do that. Got my SAI out of the way, my hard line. Remove these two lines from the compressor. Be careful if you're using the hammer technique not to put the fucking forks of the hammer right through your oil filter, because I almost did that. So keep that in mind. So these are all free. You're gonna have to really do some weirdness to get kind of finagle them out, but that's all up to you how you want to do that. And then this line is gone now as well. So we're going to move on to the compressor. So something that I am doing, because I'm relocating my power steering reservoir anyway, going to be unbolting it here, and I'm going to be getting this line and this line out of the way because we're going to have to get onto that right there with a 15mm wrench, the top of your tensioner. So you got to get right onto there, top of your tensioner, pull that back so you can get tension off the belts and get your belt out and get your new one on. So I'm also going to get rid of this because this is getting replaced anyway. So let me do that. These are off now. You can just, you know, unbolt it here and just kind of move it just a little out of your way. It helps you get onto that pulley here, tensioner, so you can pull it towards you, get the tension off. 15mm wrench. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this belt off now. I got my helper here. My wife's helping, so I can actually show you what we're doing. So you're gonna get your 15mm wrench on here, and you gotta pull back. See, pulling that tensioner back, and I'm undoing my belt now. That's gone. Release that. All right, the belt's gone. So let's compare it to the new belt just to be safe. So yeah, you could see it's significantly, the new belt, I mean this thing is all bent up, but you could see the new belt when you do this is significantly shorter. Yeah, so. Alright, so the last step in the process, which in my opinion is clearly the most annoying, is removing the compressor. So you have one 16mm bolt right there that's kind of right behind this tensioner, unfortunately. So you need to pull the tensioner back to get something on there. And then the other one is kind of right below it. I'll show you. The other 16 mils right there. You got to get those two out. And it would be easier if you do this by removing your alternator, but I don't want to do that, so gonna have to do this with very little room and just kind of hope for the best. Hardest part is done, getting those bolts out. It's kind of annoying, but it's not terrible. And the last part, you're gonna take a pretty large pry bar and you're gonna have to just pry this thing out. It's gonna take you a little while, you know, just slowly work it, a little bit here, a little bit there, top, bottom, whatever.
What?
And eventually it'll loosen up and you'll be able to get it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to work on that.
One eternity later.
All right guys, so we're all done here. This is the final result. Looking a lot cleaner, obviously, as you would expect. That's the belt routing. There we go. So that's about it for this video. I'm gonna keep diving further, peeling back layers of this stinky onion as we go. Next step is something simple. There's you know, relocation a lot of people do for this. And they put it under here. I don't really like that idea. I feel like there's more than enough room to just simply put it down here. I feel like it's just a way better placement. All you'd have to do is, I mean, this hose is plenty long for that. You'd actually have to cut it and then just extend this one out. But that's about it for now. Continuing the battery relocation, just waiting on my 1/0 gauge wire to come in, and then I'll start a video on that. So that's it for today. Thanks guys, appreciate it. Have a good one.